many here are saved? I believe it's everybody. But how many, when they got saved, they knew what the next step was? Very rarely, yeah, good for you. Very rarely do we get beyond, okay, now I'm saved, but how am I supposed to live this saved life? No one tells us the way of the citizen. Now you have gone from one country to another country, and that country is in heaven. And that's where your citizenship now belongs, but no one really tells us how to live that life. And if you're anything like me, you probably tripped up and fell along the way before you really realize, yeah, I am saved. Because you get saved, and for the most part, it's an emotional thing. You hear a word and it triggers you, and it stirs something inside of you. You're like, yes, I need change in my life. I need God in my life. So you answer that call. You go forward and you answer that altar call, and you feel great afterwards. Unless you had my experience, you had this little old lady telling me, now the devil's coming after you. But yes, the enemy is now looking at you, because before you could have been, according to the world, a good person, but as long as you're not in the perfect will of God, he doesn't care what you're doing, even if it's a good thing. But once you decide that I'm changing my citizenship, I'm turning in my rights of this country to the rights of the kingdom, now he's in trouble. Because he knows if God can put the kingdom mentality in you, you're going to start preaching kingdom, and he knows his time is even shorter.
Right.
So that is the plan of the enemy, to keep you from knowing who you truly are and what your rights are in God's kingdom. So we don't fully comprehend that the spirit has been renewed, but the flesh stays the same. So we confuse and sometimes doubt God, because God, you saved me, but I still have these nasty thoughts in my mind. My flesh still desires the things of this world. What happened to me? Your flesh will never be saved. So get that out your mind now. Your flesh will never be saved. That's why Paul says, I crucify my flesh daily.
Right.
It's a daily battle. It's a daily struggle every single day to crucify this flesh. But it can be done. The flesh can be subdued. It can be tamed. And that's when our spirit is more dominant than our flesh. Our new man is more dominant than our old man. And that's what we have to learn. That's what we need to know through our citizenship, who we are and how we're supposed to act daily. Not according to the flesh, but according to the spirit that God has made new in your life.
Amen.
So the way of the citizen is to show us how to grow spiritually. How many want to grow spiritually?
Amen.
How many want to get to another level?
Amen.
That should be everybody. It's all about who you are. That's what the way of the citizen is. It's all about who you are, your rights, and what belongs to you. In this country, there are certain things, there are rights. And there are things that belong to you according to your citizenship. In this country, you are free. You are free to go about your business. If you want to work, you can work. If you don't want to work, you want to be a bum, whatever you want to do, you can do that. That is your right according to this country. In some other countries, you don't have that right.
That's right.
In communist countries, they tell you what to do all the time. And this country, every country can be better because no country runs according to the kingdom of heaven. So that's the difference we have to make and separate what's right and wrong according to the kingdom and the principles that God has set already before us. And the way of the citizen is living a blessed life. That's all God wants for you to be blessed in the city, out in the fields. Anywhere you go, there should be evidence of your blessed life. And blessed means, when we've gone over this a little bit, blessed in the Old Testament means to be prosperous. And in the New Testament, it means to be happy. So when you're prosperous, you should be happy. I've never met someone who is prosperous in the kingdom and not be happy. But there's two types. There's two different ways, or two different types of prosperous and being happy. The world has its way. The world, if you work hard, if you go on your own power, you might be prosperous and you might be happy, but the way of this world, you will never be happy forever. You work hard, you might prosper in different areas, but you have to continue to work at it. Because if you don't continue to work at it, that prosperity will leave you. It'll never fulfill you. Even if you're successful at it, a rich person constantly has to think, how do I make more money? How do I keep this going? It's always a stress that comes upon that. But when you are prosperous in the kingdom, you are blessed beyond your imagination. And when you're prosperous in the kingdom, it's not based upon your works, it's based upon his finished works already.
Amen.
So if he's the one that supplies the prosperity and the happiness, and it says, the joy of the Lord is my strength.
That's right.
He is always joyful. He is always willing to bless his children. So if he's the one supplying it, you're not going on your own power, and his power does not run out.
Amen.
His power never fails. There's no power outage in God.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Wow.